our series on community. Last week we spoke about daring to love people, and today's session I will speak about every face has a story. God's love is without respect of persons. He loves those people you don't like just as much as He loves you. Let God's love pour all over you and fill you. Remember how He loves you even when you're not very lovable. That's the beginning of learning how to love other people, even the ones you don't like so much. I spoke about in our last session how love is an action. What actions then are love actions? 1 Corinthians 13 is a good place to look for a list of love actions. They include patience. When you act with patience towards someone, you are loving him or her. Keeping in mind that love is not a feeling, so we don't have to feel patient. Can you remember acting patient even when you did not feel patient? Kindness. When you feel like saying something sarcastic or cutting or angry, but instead you say something kind, that is a love action. Not jealous. When you refuse to behave jealously or possessively, you are showing love. Having good manners. Just plain courtesy is a love action. How often we forget good manners, like not interrupting others when they're talking, letting others go ahead of us. Those are love actions. Unselfish. Agape love acts in an unselfish manner without pursuing selfish advantage or trampling over others and trying to get where you want to get. Remember, don't wait to feel unselfish. Show your love by acting unselfishly. Endurance. When other people have given up and left, agape love will still be there, hanging in with someone. It will endure all things. It will keep listening to someone even when you think you cannot listen to another word from that person. These are just a few of the many love actions available to us. And we can demonstrate these attitudes and actions toward people whether we like them or not by God's grace. Ask God to help you today to show love through your actions, even to that person you don't really like very much. A prerequisite to developing love actions toward unlikable people is to pray for them. Sincerely, regularly pray for their welfare. Ask God to show you what love actions to take toward them and pray for them a lot. Jesus taught us to pray for our enemies and those who despitefully uses us. Then as you think about each of these people you don't like, decide which love actions would be appropriate for each one. Does one require a lot of patience? Does one require compassion or endurance? Then set your will to act with those love actions toward those people. I read a story online about a woman who said God put her in a job with people she just didn't like very much. So she applied for a promotion, looking forward to moving away from those people. The selection process narrowed down to her and one other person, but she didn't get the job. And at first she was angry at not being selected, until she realized that God had left her in that job in order to teach her to love those people she didn't like. So she began what she called Project Love. And she looked for ways to develop relationship with those unlikable people. Her method was to invite them to have lunch with her one per week, and she began to build bridges to these people and develop relationships with them. Of course, in doing that, she discovered that they had burdens and problems. And they discovered that she was a caring person. A few months later, she got a promotion, but she still kept in touch with those unlikable people that she had now learned to love and indeed to like. Several of them have turned to her for help in troubled times. What a good idea, Project Love. Maybe you can use her method and start to find ways to reach out to those unlikable people with the love of Jesus Christ that is within you. What miracles we could see in our relationship if we do this more and more. Abundant life is found when we die to ourselves. That's what we do when we determine to love people who we don't really like. It always helps to remember that we're often unlikable to God, yet He never stops loving us. And that is the kind of love that should overflow from our lives to others. When that happens, when others can see that we can love people who are not likable, we will have one of the strongest witnesses of God's grace we can ever have. You know, if you can learn to love people you don't like, it has to be a miracle, right? From God. And that miracle in your life can cause others to be thirsty for the eternal water that Jesus offers, which they see demonstrated in your life. Here's my suggestion. Make a plan to love those people you don't like. First, list the people you find it difficult to like. Include what is it about them that makes them unlikable to you. Then choose one unlikable person per week to focus on. Pray for that specific person each day of that week. Pray for the things you see in their lives that make them so unlikable. Pray that God will help you to see and understand them the way He does. Pray for God's love to overflow from you to that person in some specific way sometime during the week. If you will focus on one person per week and keep going through that list, what you'll discover is that God can even change your feelings towards them. But regardless, you will be showing love to those unlikable people, and the changes you will see in yourself will astound you. You see, when you start to learn to love them, they no longer have the ability to get to you like they used to. Oh, they may still have the same irritating habits and personalities, but they just will not bug you like before. It's amazing how that happens. You realize, wow, I'm free from that awful dread of seeing them coming or having to deal with them, because even though I don't really like them, I really do love them the way Jesus does. I challenge you to try it and learn to love the people you don't like. What a miracle and what a testimony that will be for Jesus. Join me next week as I speak about loving the way Jesus loves.